How you doing? My name is Mark Cousins, and today we're going to talk about what it takes to create an obedient dog. Most people think that dog training is sit, down, come, heel, but really it's three major components that it takes to create a well-trained dog. The first one is understanding. The second is proper communication, and the third one is a game plan. You can't just start training your dog without a game plan in mind. Training starts from understanding your dog mentally. What is the dog's mentality? Did you get your dog from a shelter and you're not really sure about its past, but all you see right now, maybe it's wild, maybe it has no boundaries and it's jumping on you? Or maybe you decided to get a mastiff breed or more protective breed, and you see at 9 weeks old, he's already growling and becoming possessive over his food. See, all of these dogs have different mentalities. Is it a very courageous dog? Is it a dog that's afraid of things? So you need to understand where your dog is at so you can know how you're going to approach the training. We also need to understand our dog's physical capabilities, because not every dog is capable of the same thing. Take a Frenchie or a dog that has a short muzzle. We know that these dogs have a hard time breathing. You're gonna have to avoid walking your dog at certain times of the day. You have to kind of see the world the way the dog sees the world, in a sense, to set the right expectations. Because if you set the bar too high, higher than your dog is able to reach, then you're gonna be frustrated and you're gonna just be frustrating your dog as well. The second component that's real important is proper communication. So we gotta understand that our dogs don't speak our language. They don't speak English or Spanish or whatever language that you speak. But the dogs, they understand sound, they understand tones, they understand body language, and this is what they understand amongst themselves. So when it comes to our words, the dog is creating association with our words because they're hearing us say it repetitively, and they're also paying attention to how we say it, our body language, our tone, our intensity, and that's helping them to understand what we want. Proper communication means being clear about what you want, but most people don't really understand how to be clear in regards to speaking to a dog. Sometimes what a person is saying and their tone and body language doesn't match, so the message is inconsistent. Then typically people get frustrated when they feel like the dog is ignoring them, and then they tend to get more erratic. And what that does is that starts to embed fear into your dog. And I believe that every dog should have a healthy fear of its owner, but you don't want erratic type of fear. The dog doesn't understand what triggered you because it can't understand you. And the reason they can't understand you is because your communication is not clear. The third component is probably one of the most important ones, and that's a plan. Random training here and there won't really cut it. You need to know where you're going. You need to be building your dog step by step. From teaching the obedience, teaching your dog how to behave on a leash, teaching your dog how to be calm, observing where your dog is at and seeing his flaws and working your dog through the flaws. See, you need a plan as to where you want to be in the end. And there are always going to be nuanced behaviors that your dog is going to show you that's going to kind of make you operate outside of what you initially wanted to do. But that's fine, because as long as you got a plan, you know where you're going. So those are really the three major components that it takes to create a well-trained dog. Now you can understand why outside dogs are typically some of the most wild, worst dogs that there is, because they get no communication. You don't really get a chance to observe your dog physically, mentally, and emotionally, because when you start keeping your dog outside and you're not like a dog person that has a lot of dogs that really pays attention to their dogs, it gets to the point where you're really only going outside to feed the dog. And then when the dog starts jumping on you, it just gets you irritated. But the dog is like, I don't see anybody all day. But that excitement is what makes you want to feed them real quick and go back in the house. Without proper and steady communication, there is no obedience. If you're serious about training your dog and you want to do it the right way, then click the link in my bio, and that's where you'll find our dog training academy. Whenever people approach obedience without a plan, they typically don't lay the right foundation. And the right foundation is learning how to control your dog physically and on a leash as well. Before we can expect our dogs to listen to us off leash, we got to get control on leash. But the problem is, most people bring dogs into their house and just give the dog their whole house. And this helps to create an independent mind where the dog starts to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. That also makes potty training that much harder, because now nobody's observing the dog. Nobody has a tether on the dog. The dog is just creating these habits that you're going to hate in the future. And I find that is how people express love. They express love toward the dog by giving the dog the whole house. But love has direction and it provides protection. If you don't set a game plan for your dog, your dog is going to develop so many bad habits that you might not even want the dog in the future. So many dogs are rehomed because of their bad behaviors. And initially, the people got the dog and they loved the dog for a moment. But when those bad behaviors start to ramp up, they start looking for the nearest shelter. Learning how to control your dog on a leash is at the foundation of dog training. The leash is a tool that we use to control our dog physically. It's also a tool that we use to calm our dogs down, to correct unwanted behaviors, and to stay in their mind. See, when you bring a dog into your house, they don't know your rules. They don't know your expectations. They don't know your desires, how you feel about your furniture, where you don't want them to go. They don't know. They're dictated by their own senses. They're just excited about this new environment and they want to explore it. They want to pee. They want to explore it with their teeth. They want to chew on stuff. They want to be dogs. We got to understand, when we bring a dog into our house, we're domesticating a dog. We're teaching the dog how to live according to the standards that we want to live by. This is why using a leash in your foundation is essential. Your leash is going to be your best friend when it comes to training. The leash is going to be a tool that's going to help you to curb the habits before they form. You're going to be able to catch it quickly. If you got a dog and you desire to go places with it, then you got to start at that foundation, learning how to control your dog on a leash. I hope this video helped y'all out. God bless, and I'll see y'all on the next one.